Today, I'm gonna open up this crate. It is a new old stock light material handling crane for the LMTV. I don't know that I've ever seen any of these out there that's complete in the crate. I've opened it to look at it, and where I got it from, opened it to just take pictures and get the serial number off of it. But all the cardboard boxes and stuff are sealed in there. So I really don't know what is supposed to come in a complete kit, and that's the reason why I wanted to make a video with an unboxing, and then I'm gonna set it up on the truck. Like, I don't know if this comes with all the accessories that are for an LVAD or a low velocity airdrop truck. There's some extra stuff that comes with those, like an extension for it and for adding the turret and stuff up top. But I'm gonna open it up, lay it all out, and we're gonna look at it first, and then we're gonna put it on the truck. And here's everything unpacked. Pretty big crate for not a lot of stuff. The stuff for the LVAD is not in the kit. I guess that gets issued with the truck, or it comes as a separate kit. Some of the smaller stuff here is you have your slave adapter, and it goes to this box. Didn't open it yet, but inside this box is a breaker. And then it has this big ITT Canon plug connector that then goes to that lead. And that lead, that's kind of like a thinner slave cable. And that runs up to the winch motor. It has this is your controller for the up and down. They plug in at the two connectors underneath right here. You have your 4 bolts with some nice fancy washers and hardware and a little stopper for bolting it up. Then you have the little mast connector piece, I don't know what you want to call it, with all 3 of the pins. You have the short handle that can be swapped out. And then this is just a weight for the end of the cable. And it comes with like a parts breakdown and an instruction manual for the manufacturer of the actual hoist winch that is on there. So next step is just to get it installed on the truck. All right, it's all together. One thing I found that was interesting, I'm gonna do my best to show it here. Of course, there's a nasty glare, but this little tab, I always thought the 4 indexing holes you would tighten down, but literally what this does is you set it in and then you slide the whole assembly forward, and this latches, and it's extra tight because of all the caulk paint on here. But it's very similar to like your automotive connectors. So in order to remove this, you're gonna end up having to push this up and then it will slide back. Just thought it was interesting. Everything's hooked up. You got your winch controller and your slave cable that then goes down over there. You have all your different pins. Everything is somewhat explanatory. There's also the data plate instructions and things over there. So the last thing I need to do, I haven't powered it up yet. It is plugged into the truck. You really should have the truck running, but for the purpose of the video, I'm not gonna do it. Should be cooled off, but it's freaking hot here and it's Tomorrow's the first day of fall, but South Texas doesn't cool off. But let's see if it works. So I'm gonna pull it out. I'm just gonna go in really quick to see if it goes in. Yep. So the last part of setting it up is gonna be just putting it through the front pulley, and then there's the weight. And what that weight does is it goes around right above the hook. And that way when there's no weight on the hook and you're going up and down and it's hanging off the side, it doesn't get all loose and cattywampus wrapping around the winch. So in order for this cable to come in and out of here, it's kind of as a safety, there's this pin. And again, because it's brand new with all the carc, definitely having one of these soft blow hammers with one of these LMHCs is helpful. So now I'm going to put that weight on there. All right, and that's on there. And then the tip of the hook that comes on this, they have a cotter pin in there, and that's just as a safety so that it can't come unhooked. I don't really like cotter pins because you basically get 1 or 2 uses out of them. Probably just going to take that off. I don't have pliers up here with me to get it out, but I'll put something else in there that will work a little bit better, but it's working. Here's how it is. Of course, I'm not going to remember it off the top of my head, but somewhere probably at the beginning of the video and then right now, I'll put the section of the operator's TM. It does cover the light material handling crane, so it's going to show how to set it up and maintenance. And then there's also a section in the parts TM where if you have one of these, and it actually shows breakdown of like the hoist and all the different stuff and the handles and things like that, which is good to have. These are a little bit different than like a commercially available crane, but if you're somebody who likes to keep it the military way of things, it's cool to have this. It's nice because it breaks down into pieces, and I'm kind of a weakling, but if you're a strong person, you could probably move it around once it's taken apart all by yourself. And then the fact that it just goes in each one of the pockets of the 4 corners, and you don't have to have an LMTV. It will work in an MTV. They just say LMTV. I don't know why. All right, this is how I choose to store it on the truck. It's not really how the technical manual shows how to stow it. If you leave the bottom pin in right here, it folds all the way down, and then you can rotate it over, and it just tucks up against there. And it's the most compact. It's not any higher than the roof or the air intake, as you can see. But so there's a little spot right here for storing the controller, and took me kind of like looking at it. But obviously you put your cap back on this to make sure that it's going to be watertight. Start it in the middle, and then just start wrapping your cable around it. And as you wrap the cable around it, it will hold that connector in place. And then you have to leave a little bit of slack. And then take the handle part, feed it through, center it on the little casting mark. And it's all going to be tight. It's like that by design. And it clamps it. And then a little bit of extra slack, you kind of keep wrapping it around and just get it up there tight. And it wraps up nice and neat. But anyway, hopefully you thought the video was interesting, just seeing what actually comes as a complete LMHC. Not many of them out there. I'm happy to have my hands on one, not just to put together one, even though that one worked great. And thanks for watching.